Hi, I'm Jale, welcome to my channel. We're going to be looking today into a lot of the rumours, hopefully dispelling some of these rumours that we've got that are going around about this 5G thing. It's come up in a few questions. I didn't sort of look into it with the other uploads that I've done today and the other filming I've done, so I've decided, I was about to actually stop filming and then my guides were like, aren't you forgetting something? And I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I need to address this because I feel like it's the elephant in the room. It's a bit of a distraction. So, what? I don't know what cards to use for this. Let me just see what I can get first of all. It's a distraction. The 5G thing is a distraction. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's see. Let me just put my energy next to one and see how I react to it. That's probably not the best sort of way of doing it, but. How do I want to describe this? Let me just double. There's something about the way that we need to get our technology. There's something about the upgrading technology that's coming that it sounds awful. I don't know if I would like the idea of agreeing with this. Let me ground myself. I feel like to bring into what is coming, it's necessary. I'll be honest with you, I don't feel like, because there's talk here of when you walk through these 5G antennas that they can scan your DNA. Let me go to my ancestors, because my guides are arguing. See, my guides seem to say it can't. My ancestors seem to say it can't. Let me go to someone else that is one of my trusted, my guardian. One sec. Whoever this is, there's a lot of confusion here. It's interesting because I feel like I've got to walk through. Let me just walk through this fog, because a lot of my guides seem to say yes and some of my guides are saying no, but I feel like I need to go more to my star family, because this I don't know if this is the problem. You've got to remember, if there's someone, this could be opinion. Like, we don't want opinion, we want fact, we want truth. So let's shuffle the cards whilst listening to the guides, because my guides are all debating something here about this 5G thing. It's something. It's something to try and block. What is the benefits? I'll be honest with you, it doesn't feel bad. Like, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't. But then I've got some guides saying that it's not great. So let me just try and pinpoint what isn't great about it. What exactly is it you're trying to say here, guides? Because if it's not great, can you give me an example of what? So what they're talking about here is, for some reason, they're showing me my heart here. It's like a frequency that doesn't match my heart. And so if your heart isn't robust, they're saying it's not great. Now, this is going to be interesting, because let's ask the other question. Is this Spirit's grand plan, aka, because it's all well and good saying, oh, well, how dare you put in something that's, you know, making people's hearts go weird. What happens if the universe, they're meant to leave the planet at this time? because their soul contracts have been completed, they need to go up to then incarnate back here to then carry on a new mission. We don't know, so we gotta dig a little bit deeper here. It doesn't feel as straightforward. This is not a straightforward yes or no answer, and like anything, we can't just sit and go, how dare you put these masks up, because what happens if these masks contribute to some major revolutionary changes that are going to save more people's lives? Because that, I feel, is more what we're looking at here. Did it create coronavirus? Let me ask that question first. Did 5G towers create? They're saying it didn't create it, but it has sustained some existing symptoms. It didn't help, right? It didn't help, but it didn't create it. It didn't create it. They're saying there's going to be major upgrades over the next couple of years in this world, and part of that is these pillars. That is why they're encouraging a healthier living, because if you're living healthily, it won't be as affected. Now, if you're living in the city, is this going to be worse? Not necessarily, because if there's more of you, you're more compact potentially. But if you're further afield, would it affect you? Not necessarily, because there might not be a stronger signal. What they're saying here is they know the population is going to increase. That this is what I'm listening to in terms of my style family now. This is like, this is someone that now that's looking over the whole thing over 360 degrees. They're not looking at my level. They're looking at way in advanced. This has to happen to bring in the next wave of technology, which is coming. And if we're not prepared for it. It's like we're having new technological advances coming in, and this 5G is going to propel that. And is it going to cause health issues? Yes. Not going to lie, it will. But we actually do need, like, I'm going to be honest with you. If you, let's say, for example, because you've got to remember, there's a plan in all this. Spirit aren't just throwing a dice and going, you're going to have to leave, you're safe. You're off the planet, you're safe. That's not how it works. There's a plan within everything. What they're saying is that there's a certain vibration this planet is reaching that other people are not going to be able to reach, because it's the end of them and their soul mission on this planet. And so they're passing over, ready to incarnate, ready to learn to come back, because we need that, because there's going to be an increase of people coming. There's going to be an increase of everything. So in answer to the question, did it create coronavirus? No. It didn't help it. It didn't stop it, but it's created other symptoms. I'm seeing it as, because obviously it's the same frequency as the fifth dimension, I'm seeing it as it increases the rate the heart works, or it increases the vibration around the heart. Now it's interesting, because when I'm actually sitting in that energy right now. I'm sitting in it to demonstrate, because I can't sit and be like, from my freaking perch, like, oh no, you know, this is wrong or this is right. I'm you know, I'm no better than anyone else. So let me go in that energy and just suss it out a little bit. There's a certain frequency that is definitely, my heart space feels, how do I want to put that? They're saying aligning. It's interesting. Will it affect people? Will this affect anyone that it shouldn't, that it hasn't already planned to affect? They're saying no. No. No, that's not it. This is not like a malicious, you know, we're being taken over the world and, you know, everyone's suffering and the kind of torture, you know, the treachery is getting worse. This is, in order for us to, like, for example, if you've got, let's say, someone who is a young child that's got medical conditions, let's say, I don't know, it's a situation medically that there's no cure or there's nothing to help them. This is ushering that in. It's like that we're walking into a new age here. And so we've got new technological feats that are ready. And this 5G is going to help that along. It's like at the moment, people are going to kind of hate it. But let me go a year in advance. I'm going to try and trace this now along timelines. A year in advance, 2 years in advance. Someone's telling me it's no good. Why are you telling me? What is your I'm just listening to that because this is someone's guide telling me this. What is your reasoning for it not being good? Okay, so if you've got heart defect, if there's a genetic heart defect, then it's probably not going to be very good. They're talking about muscular dystrophy or muscular atrophy here. It feels like the nervous system, the central nervous system is being affected. Muscular atrophy, muscular dystrophy, can't remember which one is which. But my guides just said everything is as it needs to be. And my guide wouldn't say that if that wasn't the case. If it was, put it this way, if there is, let's say, one tower that a little old woman's living next to and she's the only house in 70 miles, is that okay? No. Because chances are this poor woman's going to have to deal with that. But I feel like it's something about this feels like, do we know who started this rumour? Because that's another thing. It's like, it doesn't feel bad. It just doesn't feel like, because I've been hearing about how it can scan DNA and it can do all these things. My guides seem to say it can't. It can't scan DNA because they're talking about it being the amount of power that an airport scanner can have, which is where it can obviously understand and see certain elements. And obviously, maybe let me ask the question: would the skin be affected by this? So anything like face, hands, would there be skin that when it's open, would that be affected? Okay, so now they're saying yes. Now they're saying yes. They're saying, however, if you're the type of person that goes on holiday and sits in front of the sun for 15 hours a day, that also affects it. So they're not saying, oh my goodness me, this is awful. This is like if you were out, it's like anything. Let's say, for example, you are out in the sun for 9 hours a day for 4 weeks straight, then that's going to affect you, isn't it? Because your skin's going to change pigment or colour. But this is the same thing. It's like, so for example, for me, like orgonite. Where's my orgonite? My orgonite, this is my orgonite here. Orgonite is brilliant, and shungite as well is brilliant for EMF frequencies. It might be worth looking into orgonite and shungite. Another thing would be, don't have anything in your bedroom that is obviously, you know, internet wise, because obviously that while you're sleeping your body needs to adjust, doesn't it? It's about making practical arrangements. Like, for example, I'm probably going to get more plants in here to balance that out, you know, so it's not just technological, it's a balance. Because this is the thing, in May time the North Node is transitioning into Gemini, which is about the internet, and I feel like this is happening. And I think people are fighting this now, but in the future, is this going to have helped people? Yes. But it's about balance and common sense, and don't have a setup of 70 routers and 5 modems in your bedroom next to your head when you're sleeping, because that is silly. Make sure that you're, you know, putting you're balancing your room out, your bedroom, or anywhere else that has these frequencies. You know, put orgonite next to these kind of things, or, you know, cleanse the room, you know, sage and that kind of thing, so it's neutralized as much as possible. But this is, we're in a new age, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like the 5G is one and the same thing as to why we're inside. It's like we're recalibrating, our DNA is going through an upgrade, we're ascending, and as we ascend we match the 5th dimension, and as our DNA shifts it also is able to cope with the other technological advances. And if it isn't able to cope, then that's, again, it's the circle of life. It's like, that's, I'm not God, I can't sit here and go, but is it evil? I think it's neutral. I think when the internet started in the 1990s, I think it's the same as that. It's not going to be the root of all evil, but at the same time, it's not like a freaking heaven's blessing. It's a balance, isn't it? And obviously, some take too much advantage of that, and others don't. But I feel like it's just the heart. It's because you've got to remember the heart has a beat, doesn't it? And as our vibration in our planet gets higher and higher, our frequency, our vibration gets higher. And as we go into 5D, our vibration will be vibrating at a different frequency, as will our heart rate. But the Schumann resonance, which is the heartbeat of the planet, is also raising. So 5G is just an upgrade to everything else that is upgrading. Should you be burning and, you know, ripping these things down, I'll be honest with you, from what my guides are saying, they're saying no. They're saying no. Is there more to this? Yes. But is it more fear of the unknown? Because it just so happens that this has been released at the time when we've got like this virus, virus. That's more the focus. You've got to remember, don't be distracted here. Focus on what the end game is of the virus. And I've put up my political predictions that go into that. If you haven't already watched it, I think this is going to be released first. So this is going to be the next. The predictions are going to be released. I think maybe a couple of days after this goes out. So just keep an eye out for that. And again, click on the bell icon. It will notify you when I go live and when videos get released. But let's pull some cards, Spirit. What can you tell us about 5G, Spirit, please? Yeah, time for a nap. So take a break, right? Some of you are getting way too, like, I get it. You want to know what's going on. And obviously the mainstream media, we can't rely on that, can we? Because we know that that's bullshit. Sorry to be rude and sweary, but it is. So we have to go within and try and navigate this ourselves. Take a break, right? If you're on internet 17 hours a day, what this is telling me is yes, it's going to affect you. If you're glued to the internet, you've got a tech setup that is like in your bedroom next to your bed, then yeah, that's going to affect you. But if you're balanced with it, it shouldn't. If you're careful with it, it shouldn't. Just take a break. Take intermittent breaks. All right, but look, this is because look, this is bringing something new in here, poised. And it's not doom and gloom. I'm just hearing a new age. But the answer's not straightforward. The answer's not straightforward. Well, that was a bit interesting how that flew out. Let me see. Yeah, look, tick tock, tick tock. So this is a timing thing here. There's something about time running out. Someone's talking about time. What is TikTok, Spirit? With 5G, what is this TikTok thing? Something about, right, so we've got the fates in reverse. And we've got TikTok. What is TikTok? It's like spinning up of time. What is the fates in the reverse? What is the fates in the reverse, please? What is the fates in the reverse with TikTok? I feel like it's a little bit of a speed up of time that is maybe not as planned or warranted. Let's see what they're going to tell us. This, imagine, what can come, this is what they're talking about here with the imagine. Something's going to come from it. Because look, we're running out of time for something. This is the other thing, look. Something is going on here where we're running out of time for something that needs to be developed via this technology. And this is something that maybe wasn't either taken into consideration, which might be why they're rolling this out quickly, but it's something that is needed. Because look, imagine, this is essentially what I was saying. And again, the time for a nap is about having a break. Don't be on the internet all day, every day. Be poised for, again, if you feel like your body's not reacting well to it, then obviously take a break. But the other card here is Unfinished Symphony. So there's something here that needs to be developed that we haven't developed yet. For some reason, something is not being fixed. Something hasn't been fixed. It's like, let me just tune into this because we've got the Mending card in the reverse. So that on one hand, this is bringing divide, and it's like the technical versus the spiritual. It's like people are mixed, right? This is karmic. They fought this war before, and it wasn't to do with in technological. It's not recently. This is years ago. There was this was fought before. This has happened before. It's like the timelines of this old pattern of behavior is coming through, and this actually happened in a previous timeline. I don't know why I want to say this, but they're showing me the Roman Empire, where someone tried to move forward a kind of a way of doing things, and it wasn't upheld, it wasn't liked. But actually what it brought was an expansion of consciousness. But we've got two very clear divides here. We've got on one hand, there's a timeline bleed, and what that means is because we're shifting into 5G, the three-dimensional kind of reality that we've seen and that obviously we continuously work through is collapsing on itself and being mended and fixed. This is actually a test as well, because what they're saying is, it's like they're showing with the left hand, they're giving you something, but they're holding something behind their back, right? This is spirit. And I'm like, well, what's in the other hand? But everyone's sat there concentrating on the hand that's extending. And my guides are telling me, Jale, you know better than this, because there's more to it. It's not, look, it's like, do we want to be helped? There's something here about time that's speeding up, right? Now you've got to remember, if we are transitioning into 5D, the fifth dimension, we need the technology, because I'm going to be really honest with you. If anyone's ever meditated in the ninth dimension, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. It doesn't make any sense. It's like an Escher painting, right? And it's like the stairs are up, you know, reversed. I'm glued to the side. It's like, and I'm trying to navigate around it, and I'm like, this is like gobbledygook. This whole energy is like we're vibrating, we're ascending, right? And if the technology doesn't back it up, have you ever sat there trying to operate a technological item and it's like taken 16 years to connect? Now, if you had an Amstrad computer in the 1980s where you had a little cassette player in there and you had to wait for it to load over 15 years, you're going to know what I'm talking about. All of you millennials and that didn't have to go through that, you know what I mean? Like, this is... You don't feel the pain, whereas I did, you know, because I was always into my computers as a young kid. So this is matching our consciousness that's growing, and we need the technology. It's like the Palladians, they're coming to gift us things, and it's like we're being gifted, but we're shooting a gift horse in the mouth. This is how I feel on one hand, okay? On the other hand, there is definitely something going on here, right? Chaos and conflict. We've got mending in the reverse. It's like an unfinished symphony. So, is it going to bring something? Yes. Right? And is it going to take something away? Yes. So what do we choose? What's the alternative? The alternative would be, let's not have any of it. But then what happens? Do we ascend? They're saying no. They're saying no. They're saying this is the risk we've got to take. It's like, and don't get me wrong, you might sit there going, oh, it's not a risk I want to take. Then don't. Do what you need to do. But you've got to remember, if we're a collective, this could be building us together. And Spirit's saying it is. Why is it building us together? Because we've been separated. We haven't been working together on anything. This whole thing has happened because none of us worked together. It's like people weren't listening to each other. But look, this is what this is bringing. Happy. This is, and again, you might sit there and go, well, that's absolute total rubbish. Then you stick to your own instincts. You know, believe nothing, question everything. That's how I view things, you know, and I meditate on it, you know. Look, feminine, yin. Okay, so with obviously the fact that Gemini is coming in to the equation, into the North Node, which is a neutral sign, all right? It's both light and dark. It's like, usually we get information via downloads, don't we? We sit and download that information. But with the strands of consciousness that are speeding up, so is everything in our conscious world. Because if our inside is expanding, why wouldn't our outside? Why are people fighting that? Now, I get it, it's the health aspect, it's the concern about what they're going to be looking into and what they're going to see and what they're going to spot. Well, that's their karma, isn't it? If you've got a government or whoever that's looking into you and your DNA, let's say, I don't think this is, but let's say they're looking at the identity, let's say maybe that's your argument. Maybe that is, yeah, that maybe that is what they're doing. Let's ask the guides, is it identity that they're looking into? Are they trying to keep track of someone's identity? Yes. See, they're being honest. Guides are saying, yeah, they're probably keeping track of your identity. Yes, they're probably keeping track of where you're going. Now, you might sit there and go, well, I don't want this, I don't want this. Who do you think messaged you when this corona thing happened? When you got your little text message in the UK from Boris? They're already on your phone, mate. Like, they can read everything, you know? All we're doing is we're having an added element of observation, which hasn't changed anything. I mean, if you've got an Alexa in your home, you know, it's the same thing. Like, if you're watching your laptop, they can tap, I'm not being funny, but they can tap into your laptop. Like, they can even watch from my webcam. Hi, if anyone's watching this. Like, it's just an added thing to observe, which, okay, yeah, that doesn't sit well with me either. But let's ask the question. So what's the purpose, Spirit? What is this identity thing about? What can you tell us about this? Because personally, it doesn't sit well with me, that. So what is it you can tell everyone that may be feeling angry about that? Now, I can't explain this better than myself. Look, serendipity. Serendipitous events is having something that happens that leads you into something better. There's a serendipitous event, fated, destined, all right? Fate and destined, something that is meant to happen. And look, the here and now, this is about mindfulness. This is about present moment. Focusing in on the present moment, all right? Because if you're so future focused, then yes, you're going to find concerns for everything that's out there, you know? So if this is still not setting right with you, do you have an anxiety issue? And if you do, I would be focusing on looking at that first of all. Maybe that's going to offend people, but if you're too busy looking in the future and worrying about what's going to happen, what are you missing in the now? Because Spirit are giving us gifts at every opportunity. We have to stay mindful as well with this situation. Sometimes these things happen as a blessing, and it might seem like, how can you sit and say, like, I was being observed is a blessing? That's what, you know, are you a shill or something? No, just to recap, I'm definitely not a shill, and I'm definitely way too rebellious to be a shill. For example, let's say, for example, there is an extremely deranged murderer on the loose, right? Is that there's an extremely deranged kind of murderer on the loose, and there's babies at risk. What happens then? Do you sit and go, sorry, don't use this equipment now, don't use it? Because look, I'm not being funny, but I can guarantee you that's going to be the first thing that people are going to say. Oh, use this. How do you know that that is not what they're doing? Let's ask the question. What is the purpose? Yeah, look, it's for peace. It could be for security as well. And I get it. It's like maybe you're sat there thinking, well, our rights have been taken away. Look, I don't like this Big Brother thing either. I don't particularly like how it sits either. But I mean, look, let's be realistic. Can you imagine, let's say, for example, something happens in the world that is terrible. Let's hope that isn't the case. If they don't turn around and use this equipment, what does that tell you? That's a very big admission of guilt, isn't it? If they suddenly turn around and go, oh, we can't use the equipment because we couldn't see anything. Oh, really? Well, you can see everyone's faces. How does that work? You've got to remember, everything is a dual-edged sword with this. And I feel like that's what people are missing. Is life fair? No. We're in a three-dimensional reality and it's not fair. Actually, Spirit call this hell, if I'm being totally honest with you. They don't view this as heaven. This is where people come to learn and to evolve and grow. And is it all sweetness, light and rainbows? No, sometimes it's not. And it's about understanding what that means and what the benefits are and what the downsides are and how to navigate through that. But if you're going to sit and look at all of the bad sides of it, then that's not going to help, because you're going to get to, what are you going to do when other things are out of your control? Because this is like, Spirit are asking you to surrender. Now, again, you might sit and go, well, I'm not going to surrender to my liberties and my freedoms being taken away. Then don't. But what happens then if you don't capitalise on the good things that are coming from it? What happens then? You've got to weigh it up. What is it you want? Because I'll ask the question, what is the benefits coming from 5G? What are the benefits coming from 5G, please? And then we'll ask the secondary question. Fairness, balance. This is the justice scales. This is karma. This is Libra energy. This is balance, to be fair. This is what's coming, a fairer energy, right? And we're currently in 4D. So we're transitioning into a different dimension, and that's another reason what the benefit are is to bring us into this new energy, right? This new vibration, and to do it in a fair way, right? In the most fair way possible. So let's ask the question now against. What is the downside to 5G, please, Spirit? What is the bad side, the downside, the things that maybe won't be as good that we're going to be seeing? Is there any, if any? So we've got round and round and round. So again, disinformation. That's immediately what jumps out. So if there's disinformation, this will be more readily available on 5G. But if you're in tune with your heart center and you're ascending and you know the truth, what does it matter? This rumor that's going around this is a test to see, are you in your heart center? Are you in your fear center? If you're in your fear center, why? What do you fear within yourself that you can't connect to your heart center? And it's also saying, well, why aren't you in your heart center? What's so scary about being in your heart? Sometimes we can't always work out with our head. What you're seeing with all these rumors is people trying to work out in their head what's going on. And some things have to be worked out from a spiritual alignment perspective in your heart. And this is what this is teaching us as well. There's a serendipitous event here. And people are so quick to judge the negative. And it's like, oh, they're going to scan our DNA. Okay, let's ask the question, will they scan our DNA? And if so, what is the downside to that? Exchanging gifts. And we've got fork in the road in the reverse. I don't see it as a bad thing. Now, again, removing away our ego to one side. Oh, how dare they do that to me? Right, okay. Number one, what are you not feeling empowered about in your own life for you to say? Because look, this is the deal. I don't want to be on this earth and being controlled by a form or body of people that are calling the shots. I don't want to be part of, you know, this elite group that are calling the shots. Trust me, I don't want to do that. But there is a plan that upstairs have from clearly that they're trying to implement here by the book. So this is meant to happen. That this is the Akashic records. There's something about this that's meant to happen. And if I don't trust spirit and I don't trust the process, what does that tell us? it tells us that when the blessings come in that Spirit give us, I don't trust that either then. Because that's what you're, essentially, that's what I would be saying to Spirit if I didn't go along with this. And it's not about being some idiot that's like, can't see the wood through the trees. Look, this has come out twice now. They're saying, imagine what can be created. Look at the possibilities rather than the blocks. Look at what can be evolved and developed. Because personally, I don't know how long I've been saying this, but I've been sat for years going, why is this technology so slow? Why is this not functioning properly? I feel like there's technology out there that we've not got any access to, and I'm annoyed because my time could be spent in a better place doing something else. This is what I'm saying. Time is about to speed up, because what's going to happen here is when you guys are coming out of quarantine and you're getting into a new routine, your time is very clearly going to speed up, because don't forget, time is an illusion. Energy is fluid. It's going to change. Your concept of time is going to change, which means the internet is not going to sustain. People are going to want quick results, right? They already do now. They already want quick results. So think about it, it's like a freaking starting block. It's like horses coming out of the starting block. When around September time this happens, even sooner possibly, people are going to want to go. And if their internet's like, crawling along, because think about it, it's like the world is changing as a we, and this is not, it says no place like home, that we're nurturing our planet, and we're evolving. Everything will be okay. Breathe. And underneath that, let's see, what else? Last final messages, please, for those concerned about 5G. What can you tell us for those who are still concerned? Treasure Island. That's the upside of it. That's the upside of it. What else? Final messages for those who are anti-5G, who don't like the idea of it. What else can you tell them, Spirit? What do they need to know? For those who are really anti, loyal heart. Do you like change usually? If this is, do you have an aversion to change? Do you have Taurus in your chart? What else? Any other final messages, please, Spirit, from those who are concerned or worried about this? Yeah. Again, they're just saying surrender. They just keep saying surrender. It's like, okay, let's see, what can they look forward to? Let's see what we can look forward to with this 5G, if it hasn't been burnt to the floor. And this is not me being like I'm not being an arse kisser. This is just what I'm being told. I can't help the information I'm getting. I can't sit there and go, can you just give me some insight? But I'm only going to get the information, and I'm only going to share the information that I want to hear. Because that's bullshit, in my opinion. That's just someone bullshitting then, isn't it? So, like I said, let's have a look. Okay, so benefits of 5G. For those who are still unsure by all this, what are the benefits? Yeah, connecting people. Look, orphaned in the reverse. This is going to connect more people. A lot more people. Think about all those places that don't have internet. I know that sounds ridiculous, but what happens if they then get connected and then suddenly, you don't know. I feel like there's going to be lots of these kind of stories, but there's a fork in the road coming up though. What is the fork in the road? What is the benefit of 5G, please? What is the fork in the road? Yeah, like inventions. Oh my goodness. Blessed. Look. That's not me making that up. That's, look, blessed. This is 22, number 22. And that adds up to 4. Which is, the 4 directions, the 4 archangels. North, south, east, west. This is like alignment. I feel like the benefits from what I'm looking at outweigh the negatives. And you might sit there and go, oh, you know, you haven't ever worried about health. I have. I've been in a bed 2 years worrying about my health. I'm sick of worrying about my health. If I have to go, I have to go. I can't sit and be like, well, obviously I'm doing readings, so can I just renegotiate how long I'm on this planet for? Because Spirit are going to be like, who the hell do you think you are? They're going to be like, why, are you special? And I'm going to be like, well, that was a bit embarrassing. So this is the thing. You guys are all fearing again, if you're still like, no, I don't like this 5G thing. What is it about your life you're fearing? What are you fearing in your own life? That's, I think you should be, and what is that causing your anxiety in your own life, your own existence? Because this is the thing, if you've come onto this planet, you've come onto a planet knowing a control system is in place, aka a hierarchy of control and power. For you to sit on this planet and go, oh, I don't, how dare you? You've got a soul contract. And yeah, your soul contract may say, yes, stop 5G. But unless it, and I'll be honest with you, not many people's is going to say that, but some people's probably would. But there's another part of your soul contract that possibly is going to need 5G. I would be, before you start arguing about it, figure out, look at the bigger picture. That's just personally. And for those who are on board, again, believe nothing, question everything. Check with your own intuition. Because this is the thing, it's like, it's all well and good me giving you this information, but if it doesn't sit well with you, you've got to trust your own instincts here. All right, guys? So anyway, hopefully that's been of some help. This was my insight for the 5G debacle. Take good care of yourselves. I'm doing lives Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Stay posted on my social media. I will be announcing when I go live, unless you want to click on the bell icon and it will let you know when I do go live, and also when videos are announced. At the moment, videos are being posted between sort of just after midnight British Standard Time, 1/4 midnight British Standard Time, Monday all the way through, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Lives will be either on Monday between sort of lunchtime, midday, 2 p.m. British Standard Time, and Wednesday, Friday between 6 and 8 p.m. British Standard Time. Okay, guys, any questions, by all means, put them in the comments. Obviously, rude, abusive comments will not be replied to. In fact, you're more than likely either going to be blocked or ignored. And take good care. Speak soon. Bye.